I'm Dan Schinder. Thanks for joining us here on Drum Talk TV. I'm here with my special guest, Elie Bertrand.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for coming
Thanks for
on.
having me.
Really appreciate it. Elie has a very interesting career with some interesting drumming experience, very versatile, and that's what we're going to talk about because it's on every episode. Not all lessons are learned from behind the drum kit or at a practice pad. They can be learned from discussions, listening to discussions with an open mind, and sharing each other's experiences that form our own personal perspective. So that's what we're going to talk about with Elie. And something Elie doesn't know is actually how I started following you.
It's true. Actually, I don't know.
And I'm not going to ever give that up. No.
No.
No, the way I found out about you was back in, this is April of 2013, and back in January when we really started to spin up Drum Talk TV, being a huge supporter of female drummers and having a great relationship with Mindy Abovitz and Tom Tom Magazine, I was on a quest to find out about more and more female drummers. Mm-hmm. So I simply did a post on our Drum Talk TV Facebook page. Go there and like it, please. And it said, we want to fill out our roster for the year of female drummers. Who would you like to see? And I did that a few times over the course of about maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And your name came up a lot.
Oh, really?
So I thought, okay, this is what the people would like to, who the people would like to see and hear from. And I never heard of you before, so I started doing my homework. Oh. And then I started following everything that you were doing. So that's how I found out about you.
Thank you. Well, thanks, everyone.
You're welcome. And I'm hoping that a lot of other people find out about you through, doing this interview.
Probably.
Probably. We hope so.
Well, it's huge now.
Well, we have 5 people a week watching now. No, I'm kidding.
No.
No, honestly, we're reaching about 1.5 million people a week right now as of the middle of April.
Congrats.
Well, if it wasn't for you wonderful guests, who would want to watch me? I mean, seriously. This is the only show where I can guarantee that the guests will always be better looking than me, even when I have Carmine Appice. So what I want to talk about first is that Elie started very young, as many of us do. I started when I was 7. You started when you were 5.
Yes, I did.
So I kind of, without going through your whole career like I usually do at the front end of an episode, I want to ask, what at 5 made you say, I want to play the drums? What happened?
I did like Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. My parents are musicians, and I was that kind of kid you really don't want to have, that's like screaming and throwing tantrum at them all. And so I guess my parents wanted to have me calm down and do something productive with my time. So I don't know. My dad actually had a friend that had a kid at his house, and I liked it, tried whatever, and fell in love. And
at 5?
that's it. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, right? But
that's awesome. And then, so when you started, did you start taking drum lessons, or did you start just
day one? My parents were very strict on that, and I had to sign up for a year and do the full year, and then would decide if I was gonna keep going or stop. And I did, and I loved it. I didn't practice them as much as I'm asking my students to practice when I was that age, but
you were 5.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Hopefully you started practicing more by the time you were like, I don't know, 6.5 or 7, right? Got real dedicated. You're like, I'm growing up now.
Yeah.
I'm approaching 2 digits. I gotta get this together. And your parents were very supportive, right? They were really into the arts and exposed you and your younger sister to the arts?
Actually, my whole family, I owe them a lot because they were always there for me. Well, they're still always there for me. And
good.
My parents were there for all my first shows at school and stuff, and they didn't miss anything, and drove me to all my lessons, and they were great parents growing up, and they still support me so much, so I'm grateful for that.
My parents made me walk to my lessons.
No!
Yeah, but it was real close. Very supportive, though, and that's a great feeling. And I think it makes a difference, too, because I think you, even at a young age, you see the value in it. Not that you wouldn't without that, but you see the value in it, and there's kind of, just like with schoolwork, if they're supporting you with music and they're paying for the lessons, you're going to make sure you practice.
Oh, for sure, definitely. It makes such a big difference. I see it with my students, and I thank you to all the parents that support their kids, because it means so much growing up, too, and really can change your life, I
Right.
think. Yeah.
Well, I want to jump in and throw something right up front here in the video before we get into more of your music education and what you're doing now, so that people can see just right off the bat what the 5-year-old turned into behind the kit. Okay. And I love this piece. I'm going to show an excerpt of Elie behind a beautiful pearl kit. I love that kit. I'm going to come back to Montreal sometime and play on that kit.
Yay.
It looks great. But this is Elie at the 2010 Montreal Drum Fest, just throwing down a really great, heavy backbeat. And one of the things that you exemplify while you're doing this is that you can be laying down a really heavy thrashing beat, but still be very, I'll use the word flamboyant and relaxed at the same time. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be stiff and rigid and robotic to just, pound away. Yeah. So check this out. This is Elie at the 2010 Montreal Drum Fest. And what is it you're playing right here?
It's a Deftones song called Rocket Skates, which it's a great album. It's a fire.
Great. Check this out. So I gotta ask you, we're gonna kind of skip around your career and your training a little bit.
Okay.
So the 5-year-old turns into what we just saw. What are some of your biggest influences? And before you answer, again, before I have a guest on, I say, what would you like me to ask? Because I have questions, but I want to ask questions that come from the audience as well, that follow the site, follow the Facebook page. And a few people said, ask her if Carmine is one of her influences because of the way you play. Is he?
Of course he is. He's a huge influence. And actually I was lucky enough to share the stage with him at the Cape Breton Drum Fest. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, I got the chance to tell him thank you.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, his book was so important in my career path anyways, because I went through it so many times and I loved it. And yeah, his playing, I mean, hello. Him and Tommy Lee, I mean, I'm wearing their names, and a lot of, actually, I don't know if you know Reg, he works for Pearl Canada. No, I don't. He's the one that actually taught me everything.
Oh, really?
The moves and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Because I was watching those guys, I'm like, I want to do this, and then he showed me everything.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, well, you're quite young, if you don't mind me throwing that out there.
Yeah.
I told her earlier she looks great for 36, but, but you're actually going to be 24 on Christmas Day of this year in 2013. So you're pretty young. So how does Carmine come into the picture of your musical influence, being that, quite honestly, he's from my generation and even older, and I'm 50. And he was well established before I was, 13, 14 and really paying attention to stuff out there, going way back to Cactus and Beck, Bogart, and Appice. And, then, of course, he was in Whitesnake. He played with Ozzy. He's been with Ted Nugent. Just so many different things. Where did you pick up his career? It was Rod Stewart for 133 years, Where did you pick him up, and how did you get exposed to him? Through your parents?
His book. It's one of my teachers about this book, and I didn't honestly know about him at all, and my parents weren't into rock music at all, so it's really through the book that I got to know him and researched him and watched him play and fell in love with his playing, of course. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's I don't know, that book for me is huge. It's my Bible for drumming, definitely. For rock anyways, it's great. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee, of course.
Who's
he's
of
crazy.
I would consider of a newer generation, even though he's really been on the scene for years. But
forever.
But yeah, when you compare the two, Carmine and Tommy, they are of different generations.
Definitely.
I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Molly Cruz said huge influence on me. I love that band so much, and we actually had the chance to open up for them, and that was crazy amazing.
Yeah.
And I love his playing. I love his movement. I think it's really important in this. Well, anyways, the career I want to have is really entertainment. Sorry.
Right.
So I think the movement's very important.
Right.
They nailed it.
It's a show. Yeah, you're putting on a show. Exactly.
It depends what you want to do, but I really want to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
I
cool.
love him. Love him.
I want to mention one other drummer. I notice you do some moves that I've seen Glenn Sobel do. Are you a fan of Glenn's drumming?
I am,
Okay.
but I've never seen it that way.
Really? Yeah. Watch the interview that we did with him, and there's a few clips of him playing in a stadium, and the shot is from like behind him, slightly to his left. And he does a lot of the same arm movements, and I always wondered if maybe he picked it up from you. I'll ask him. I talk to him all the time. Glenn, what's up, bro? I mean,
Yeah, probably not.
so you grow up to the point where you go into middle school and high school. You were in concert band,
Yes.
orchestra.
Yeah.
So you're using all the reading skills and everything that you learned growing up as a little kid.
Yes.
What did you play in concert band and orchestra?
Well, I played percussions. I played a lot of that.
Mallet instrument?
Yes. Xylophone, whatever.
Right.
And I played a bit of the timpani, but I was too loud, so they put me back on the small percussions. And
Oh, that's funny.
yeah, we had actually one of the bands I was part of in 4th grade, I think. We had snares stuff, and so I did a bit of that. But bass drum and timpani was always too loud, so I wasn't allowed to play that.
That's so funny. Yeah, timpani is my favorite instrument.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. It's so much
love
fun.
it. Yeah, and my parents were crazy enough to help me get some when I was like 14 years old.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and so I have a real sensitive spot for anyone that's played the timpani.
Really?
Yeah. When I was first chair drummer in concert band, but I insisted on not playing the snare, I had to play the timpani drums.
That's
Drove the
awesome.
director crazy. But that's cool. So then you took those skills, and did you get into band straight away during high school or right out of high school?
I did actually. In high school, I had a bunch of friend bands, and actually, in 5th grade, my parents signed me up in a program where I was going to school in the morning and play music all afternoon. So we had different classes and stuff, and we had an actual band class. So that was fun because, well, I got to play with other students my age or around my age, and so that's kind of how I started playing drums with other musicians.
Right.
And then in high school, when I left the program, I had my first girl band in secondary 3, and it was so much fun. We played cover songs and stuff. And
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a little bit about your technique, your playing technique. When did you start developing your double bass drum skills?
Actually, funny enough, I saw that band Scarlet Sins, with who I played for a couple of years, and I love their music so much. And I had just bought the double pedal like maybe 3 months before, and I had I loved the double bass drum thing and stuff, but I didn't really practice it. And then when I saw the opportunity to be part of the band, I started practicing and called up Flo Mounier, who is also from Montreal, who is probably one of the greatest double bass drum master. So he gave me a couple of tips, and I practiced, and I showed up at the audition and got the gig. But that's kind of how I got into that.
Really? So it paid off.
Yeah, no kidding. And then I practiced a lot.
Oh, that's cool. Let's drop in a video that happens to be my favorite Scarlet Sins song that I've seen out of all the videos so far. And it's called Fire Inside. I love this because you're rocking out, but there's also like a real sort of, there's a lot of technical technique going on at the same time. You know, your double bass is very just sharp and on point and even. but yet the song, the drumming doesn't sound stiff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, there's still a lot of feel. So here we are with Fire Inside.
Another day is gone. I'm barely holding on. I try to tell myself it won't make sense in the end. I can't seem to get it right. I lost all my will to fight. I've given all I can. Was it worth it? Open your eyes. Look what's left of me. Am I foolish to have been so happy? My fire inside has finally burned out. You made it turn, made it burn, and now I suffer. I should have never stayed. You always had your way. You played me for a fool. I can't believe I had no clue. You're better off alone.
Where does that song fit in with This Is Elie Bertrand, the drummer? You know what I mean? Like if there's a spectrum of right here in the middle, this is really something that shows who I am. Is that right there, or is it more to one side than the other?
Well, when I joined the band, the songs were already written and stuff, so I kind of like jumped in after and put myself, and like, you know, everything was decided, so I had to make things my own quickly.
So you were able to give it your own flavor, even though the song, you know what I mean?
During
Were you
the
able to
live
be
shows,
yourself?
I had to, because it wasn't quite what I was gonna do and stuff, so I had to change stuff around for me to be comfortable for the live shows and stuff.
Right.
And so I'd say yes, at least at that time, that was exactly what I wanted to do. And I do actually miss, because I don't play that kind of music anymore. Well, not as much anyways. I play for myself, but I don't play it live as much as I would want to. So I guess it's one part of me. I like to think about music like painting, so it's, you know, different colors, and that would be one of my colors.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Versatility is so important. And I've noticed, again, as I've been introduced to your playing and followed your stuff, you're very versatile. You've got the experience for it because you played in concert band, orchestra. Did you play in jazz band or anything like that?
Oh, I did, but I need to work on that
It
more.
wasn't a good color for you.
Well,
It didn't wear well on you.
I have a heavy hand, you know.
Okay.
So I need to work on that. I wouldn't say I'm a jazz player at all.
Well, one of the other colors, though, that you do wear really well is the Maroon 5 song that you did.
Yes.
What is that called?
It's called Give a Little More.
Give a Little More. And this is with a band called F.E.E.
Yes.
Which is your bandmate's initials and yourself.
Yes.
And in French, it means fairy?
Yes, exactly, fairy.
Okay,
And
great.
it's just a project because it's actually with the bass player and the guitarist, Fabienne and Eleanor. And we've been in a couple of projects now, and it was always, you know, covers and stuff. So we wanted to do something for ourselves, and that's why we put that together.
Well, what's neat about it is it's completely away from the other stuff we've talked about and the other stuff we've shown.
It's
so I
so
want to
much fun.
show everybody another side to Elie Bertrand, and then we'll talk some more about influence and technique. So here is Elie playing a little bit different behind that beautiful kit that I love.
And you taste past the poison I've learned
Okay, so you're not playing so much with a heavy hand in that song.
It's true. It's different. I don't know. I feel like that style of music is. I don't. Well, I guess I do play. It's loud, but I don't know. Funk. It's like funky pop,
Yeah.
whatever, and
Right.
I feel like it's more natural for me or something, and
Right.
it just comes out.
Have you found your versatility handy for doing the gigs you do in some corporate settings that I know you play in?
Oh, definitely. Because I mean, I have to be versatile in order to pay the rent. So.
Paying rent is good, especially when you
Absolutely.
can do it playing the drums. So
Yes.
if you're out there saying, you know, when I grow up, I'm going to be a rock star, or if you're 45 or 55 slugging out in a club waiting for the big fat guy in the back of the room with the cigar and the contracts, he's not sitting there. Get versatile, and you can do a lot of other things, like playing a band that, you know, like give an example. What are some of the gigs that a corporate band would play? And the music style has to be appealing to the masses. So there's a lot of like top 40 stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So that's where your versatility comes in with technique.
For sure.
What kind of gigs would that include?
Well, the one band I play with the most these days, we do everything from playing in casinos to launches and corporate parties and stuff. So we have to cater to many people and different styles of people, and they love and hate so many things. So you have to make everyone happy, especially the person that's signing the check at the end of the day.
Right.
So we play anything from, you know, disco to whatever's on the radio now to Bon Jovi, and it's really a broad
Spectrum.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we really have to know it all. And
Yeah.
it's a huge show, actually. So it's sometimes I'm like going crazy because I wish I had 3 snares and 14 bass drums, but I
Yeah.
don't have that.
When you say it's a huge show, is it huge in the sense of personnel, or the song list, or the production itself?
Everything, because that
Really?
band is all medleys, so we play probably like, well, I don't know, I don't want to say a crazy number, but probably close to 100 songs in one
Wow.
show, because it's all pieces, you know, so it's so much to remember. And well, I don't have to dance, obviously, but everyone, we have 5 singers and 2 musicians, and they're all dancing and changing costumes and stuff, so it's so much to remember and to
Yeah.
work on, and everything has to be so tight with the music and the movements and stuff.
Right.
And some of my moves work with them and
Yeah.
stuff, so you know.
So what kit do you play in that setting where you say you wish you had all those other drums for more textures and tones, probably to
Exactly.
fit the different. So do you use the kit that?
Well, I use the pretty kit, you know, because
Okay.
it looks good and stuff.
Right.
My pink and white pearl kit.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you know, I try to play different ways because I don't have time to change snares and stuff, and
Right.
it's only an hour and a half, and it's like it never stops. So
It's a
has to
tight
be-
show, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a great example of if someone really wants to pay the rent and pay the bills playing music, don't be stubborn and say, well, I only want to play heavy metal, or I only want to play progressive rock, you know, because 2 things will happen if you stretch yourself out. One is you'll get to pay the bills playing music rather than having maybe a job that you don't like. From my standpoint, a bad day playing music is better than the best day doing a job that you don't really, where your heart isn't.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? How
I think
bad
so.
could it be getting paid to play music, even if it's music that's not your favorite music? Think about that for a minute. The other thing that happens, and tell me how this has affected your playing, when you reach out, like let's say your heart is here, whatever we want to call that, fusion, hard rock, heavy metal, pop, whatever it is for you, and then you branch out and you do the top 40 and a little this. Don't you bring tools from those styles back to what's over here, and that's how you develop your own style, basically, from
Definitely.
borrowing from other styles and influences?
Definitely, and I think it's important to want to try different things and to learn different styles, because you can create your own. If you only play one certain style of music and practice only that, then you're always going to sound like everyone else that did that. So
Right.
I think that's really important, and definitely I've learned so much on those shows, because you have to play for so long and you have to learn stuff driving to the gig, and so it's
God.
it's crazy.
Oh man,
it is crazy.
Yeah, listening to CDs on the way there, and
finding out that the client wants to change the whole setup and they want a different kind of show. So it's really good it's a great experience to learn and to, whatever you get on whatever gig, and you're always fine. You're ready to rock whatever happens.
On a show like that, is it charted out, or do you just have notes or a song list?
For this show, it's all by heart. But I need to make charts in order to remember, because I'm like that. I don't have good memory, so it helps me to remember.
Right.
And but no charts, because we have to dance and look good.
Right. So let me ask you this. What is your big picture of, because you're not with Scarlet Sins now.
No.
You do a lot of freelancing, recording, and playing live. Where would you want to see yourself in a year or 2 years? Or,
the question.
and if that's far away, how about July? Where do you see yourself in July?
July, definitely. I'll be touring all over North America.
Are you?
I am. We're going down to New York a couple of times, and playing a lot in Quebec and Canada. Well, actually, a lot in Canada, because we're staying in the east part, but we're going to be playing a lot around.
And which band is this?
That's with a band called All Access, with who I play the most, which is the show band.
Okay.
And so we're touring a lot, and I'm also starting up to play with this singer I love so much. Her name's Carmine. She just released her album, and we'll be touring a lot for this, and so I'm excited. But yeah, the big picture, I don't know. It's, I find myself, I realize with the top 40 and stuff that I really enjoy playing pop music, and I really like to be playing for someone. Like, I really loved my experience with the original band, and I miss the creative element, and working as a team to just sort of start with same sensibilities. And that's what I miss the most. It's the teamwork and the family, because I get that in the top 40, but it's not the same, because we're working for someone else, and we all have different projects and stuff. So we hang out when we're at the show, but we don't hang out all the time like I used to do with Scarlet Sins.
Right.
But yeah, I think I would love to be on a production playing for Pink or Katy Perry. I think that's the kind of stuff I'd like to do, because I realized I really love to be in the back and seeing all those people dancing and playing for them. I love it so much.
So you enjoy seeing the show that you're a part of as much as you enjoy being in it and playing it.
Oh, yes.
That's
definitely.
cool. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll be in Vegas one day. I'd love to do that.
You got to come to Vegas. For those who don't know, Drum Talk TV is based in Las Vegas. And when we met up here, we're in Montreal. And when we met up, and we told, Elie asked where we're from, and we told her, she started crying, that's where I want to live.
I love Vegas. It's fun. It's so beautiful. And there's such big productions. I'd love to be part of that.
Well, we might have to do the same thing that my wife and I did for Emmanuel Caplet. You know what that is?
No.
Well, we wanted to help her with her visa. So we adopted her.
Yay! Please adopt me. We'll be sisters. That'll be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Sweet. We won't share shoes. We'll share drums.
But I'll tell you the same thing I told her. You can't stay out too late at night.
Oh, no.
And you have to keep your room clean.
That's fine.
But the drum room is fine. Anything goes in the drum room.
Yay.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And if you want to follow, why wouldn't you want to? If you want to follow Elie and watch all of this, I used to be able to flip my hair like that, believe it or not. It wasn't that color, but I used to be able to do that. I banged my forehead once, but I used to be able to do that.
No.
But if you want to follow Elie, all her information's magically right here. Hit her up on Facebook, check out her website, check her out on YouTube. See if you can catch her live. I'm presuming your schedule is going to be posted somewhere, right?
Yes, on the site.
And if you've seen this in 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 2 years after that, the information is still good. Check out what she's doing, and I'm sure she'll be up to something else now. And we'd love to have you back on sometime.
Thank you.
If we can't do it in person, whether it's me coming here or you being in Vegas, we can always do it online, which we do some of our interviews.
Sweet.
So thanks again.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for sticking with us here on Drum Talk TV. Follow us on Facebook, like the page, and check us out at www.drumtalktv.com. Thanks.
Bye.